let's talk about Moldavite. Moldavite, known by the French as Bouteille stone, or also known in Czech Republic as Vltavín. The three places you can find this tektite is the Czech Republic, Austria, and Germany. Its typical colors range from a yellowish green to a defined green to also a greenish brown. So let's get into the geological of this. Moldavite is composed of silica-rich glass, which is usually understood to be a deep green tektite. And tektites are the result of blowouts from a meteorite colliding with Earth. So its raw appearance has a wrinkled exterior and is transparent when held up to a source of light. On the Moh Hardness scale, it ranges from 5 to 5.5, so 1 being the absolute softest and 10 being the absolute hardest. This ranges in about a middle ground, which means that it can be scraped with a knife or by a glass shard. It's considered to be amorphous, which means that it lacks in a natural structure. And it's also known as a mineraloid, which means that it's a naturally occurring inorganic solid, but it lacks in structure. This means that the process happened so fast that the atoms couldn't align into a mineral structure. Moving into the historical information, about 15 million years ago, a meteorite crashed through the Earth's atmosphere, colliding with Earth. And it broke in 2 pieces on the way down. And it collided twice. It created 2 craters. These 2 sites are now known as Rias and Steinheim craters, and they are located on southeastern Germany. But the impact was so great that the pieces of Moldavite, the tektites, the blow-off from the meteorites, were strewn so far that it actually reached to Austria and Czech Republic. But wait, there's more. Surprisingly, this was not the only thing left behind the site. 80,000 tons of diamonds, all 0.2 millimeters in size, were left behind. And this was directly due to the graphite deposit in the soil at the time of the collision. The heat and the pressure of it all were so massive that it created diamonds in its wake. And finally, we're getting into the metaphysical. So, the chakras are going to be third eye, crown, and heart. The zodiacs, all of them. Planets, all of them. And its element, rightfully so, is air and earth. So Moldavite is renowned as a very, very important transformative stone. So Moldavite is thought to help a lot with self-discovery and also connects between the cosmos and awareness. It's also highly, highly, highly regarded as a transformative stone for the mind, body, and spirit. It's also a pretty strong talisman for protection and shielding from negative forces, and with the history of how it formed, it makes sense that it is very aggressive in nature in the way that it goes about doing this. Easily said, it is not something I recommend working with when you are a beginner or first looking into crystals, tektites, meteorites, fossils, what have you. But it is important to know that there are very positive alignments within it that people love it for, which is its ability to manifest dreams into reality and align the mind, body, and spirit in one at the same time. So this is a wonderful, wonderful energetic tektite. It is probably one of my favorite. I do have one in my personal collection right here. I have had the joy of owning 2 pieces. I highly recommend it. I would say make sure to do your research on them first. While I'd like to say this video is enough of an introduction to it, I would say otherwise. So I'm going to direct you to a good piece of media that you can actually get a lot of good information and pictures on. So this is a book by Robert Simmons, the guy who also wrote the Pocketbook of Stones, if you are familiar with that one as well. It's very insightful, and it is much more in the price range of someone starting out than an actual piece of Moldavite. So I do highly suggest getting a book like this, or this book, before you start going into research and considering buying one for your own. But it does have a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of pictures, and goes into the historical, geological, and metaphysical of everything, as well as crystal pairings. So that's really cool. I'm gonna leave it off here, and you have a great rest of your week. I will see you next time.